The Milwaukee Bucks are in shame. The Bucks being tied for the second worst record in the East with a 1-6 record, losing 6 games in a row. The only win being against the team they're tied with at the bottom, being the Philadelphia 76ers, who have dealt with injuries throughout the year. And their losses include losing to the Chicago Bulls and getting the backs blown out to the Memphis Grizzlies, and losing to the Cavs not once, but losing twice, and losing to the Boston Celtics, and losing to the Brooklyn Nets. Let's start at the very top of the pyramid of disaster, being the coaching. It's led by Dumb and Dumber, being Doc Rivers and Darvin Ham. We knew that this was going to be a recipe for disaster. Adrian Griffin, the Bucks with 30-13 last year, with the second best record in the East, with the second best offensive rating in the league. Then, out of the blue, they did fire him and hired the man who's been living off his 2008 ring, being Doc Rivers. It felt like after Adrian Griffin got fired, it was due to locker room problems, aka Giannis didn't agree with his methods. Now they are the 23rd ranked offense in the league, and it's been a disaster so far to start the year, 7 games in. Watching Low stream the Bucks for Celtics game, and he said Bucks offense into 4 simple plays, being either A, a post up with Bobby Portis and Giannis, B, a Dame or Giannis ISO, C, a pick and roll involving Dame or Giannis, or on the off occasion they do run it together, they just rely on a driving kick, hoping that the defense will collapse. There isn't any sets being ran, no plays for shooters being ran, even though the team has overall struggled from the 3-point line. Gary Trent hasn't shot well this year, Pat Connaughton hasn't shot well this year, Brook Lopez hasn't shot well, and Taurean Prince hasn't really shot well either. But Doc Rivers doing Doc Rivers things. When it comes to non-shooters, he has them sit in the dunker spot, and nothing changed with Giannis. Giannis when the ball's not in his hands, he's most of the time just sitting in the dunker spot just waiting for the ball. With Middleton being out, all know that Darvin Ham is going to use this for an excuse to play Taurean Prince 30 minutes a game. With an 18-25 record under Doc Rivers, including last year and this year, it's seemingly that nothing has changed from last year, and all their flaws continue to remain the same. Now to the second tier of the pyramid, the stars, Dame and Giannis. It's obvious that Dame and Giannis don't mesh well together, and I think it's time to realize that maybe they might never figure it out. Before the season started, it came out that Giannis and Dame didn't work out together at all throughout the offseason, and it's blatantly obvious on the court. It feels more or less that whoever has the ball in their hand is not looking to create for the other person, more likely to create just for themselves, which was really a great strategy for a team that's trying to compete for a championship. Dame averaged 27 points per game, 6.7 assists, and shooting 39% from 3, which is a lot better than he did last year, shooting with 35%. The Bucks still suck, and it's a scary sight to see, with Dame and Giannis putting up historic nights like they did against the Cavs a couple nights ago, where Giannis dropping 34, 16, and 9, and Dame having 41 and 9 in the loss. It's time for some changes. On the other side of things, Dame and Giannis pick and rolls seemingly work on most occasions, and it's really rare when they do run them. But Dame does prefer having Brook Lopez, who's a better screen setter at the end of the day than Giannis. When Giannis is setting screens, he's not looking to help Dame get open, more likely trying to slip and get a dunk himself, and not really holding that screen for Dame to find a shot. And the last pillar to fall, the last part of the pyramid of disaster, being defense. The Bucks have been one of the worst defensive teams in the league this year. The Bucks' identity before Budenholzer was fired was defense, with Giannis and Brook Lopez being backline help and Jrue Holiday playing the perimeter. Well, now Jrue Holiday is gone, Brook Lopez has regressed in his old age, and Giannis isn't the same roamer and rim protector he was back in those days. But now they are ranked the 21st best defense in the league, Dame being a main culprit. Dame being one of the worst screen navigators I've seen, and one of the worst one-to-one perimeter defenders in a guard position I've seen in the league as a star player. Criticize Luka, Trae Young, and other point guards, etc. for their bad defense, but no one really talk about Dame. Because Dame isn't a great defender. This year proves it. His screen navigation and his one-to-one perimeter defense has been bad. And whether it is due to schemes or just overall bad personnel, what I've seen on a night-to-night basis from Milwaukee is that they choose to fight over screens rather than switching. Even if a team sets 1, 2, 3 screens in possession, instead of trying to switch or hedge, it's more just you live and die by fighting over that screen, and I've seen Dame die on a lot of screens, unfortunately. And whether you want to chalk it up to that's just Doc schemes, or is just them playing bad defense, with Taurean Prince and Gary Trent Jr. being your best point of attack defenders, it's unfortunate. It's always going to be a recipe for disaster. Whether you like to blame Doc Rivers' coaching schemes, Dame Lillard being a bad defender, Brook Lopez regressing as a rim protector, or Giannis just not being as good as a defender as he was before, it's ultimately just a combination of all the things I've listed above. But what did the Bucks do now? They are in a unusual spot. And I say that because with the new CBA rules and then falling into the second Abram, with Dame and Giannis both making around $60 million a year, it leaves little to no wiggle room for them to add or trade away contracts. With Brook Lopez aging and Middleton being in and out of the lineup, Bucks found themselves in a point where they have nowhere to go. The chapter for Giannis in Milwaukee is coming to a close. Within the next year, maybe two, Giannis will be probably finding his way onto another team, whether through trade or playing out the rest of his contract and leaving after his contract's over. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Before you guys leave, 95.5% of you guys aren't subscribed. Hit that big red button down below. And if you want to know what hot take I gave about your favorite team, the video should be on the screen right now. See you guys in the next video, and peace.